Hi guys, and welcome to SoccerBeat, and it's your host Peter du Toit with Tsepo Masilela, Bafana Kaizer Chiefs star. And today we're going to be talking about the Kaizer Chiefs and the particular reference to a problem they currently have and a problem they need to solve. We got a great response on the 6 reasons why Kaizer Chiefs would finish in the top 4. But there is a caveat, and that caveat is very clear. They need a goal scorer. And if you look at Kaizer Chiefs right now, last season, they only scored 25 goals in 30 games. That's under a goal a game. That's not top six performing. Only one goal more than 5 of the 6 teams below them, 2 more than Cape Town Spurs. 15 goals in 15 home games and only 10 goals in 15 away games. Gone are the days of Kaizer Senior, Ace Slingo, even though he was a midfielder, but he was prolific. Chaka Ngobe, guys like Nomvete, guys like Shane McGregor, Fani Medida, Marks Mapanyane, Knowledge Musona. Sorry?
Besuma.
So gone are those days. If you want to be a top 4 team, you've got to have somebody who can score the goals or that it's shared amongst the rest of the team. And that's not happening either way at Kaizer Chiefs. So the question is, how can that be solved? Because I think, Tsepo, it's the only missing link. Because if you look at, they've done very well on the signing. They've brought in Serena to create and bring them experience. They brought in Blom as the holding midfielder. They've got Miguel to plug the centre-back spot, and he can also play holding midfield. And then at the back, they've got 2 guys who can play left-back or centre-back in Cross and Dortley. So looking very covered, and another goalkeeper. So this is the one position, Kaizer Chiefs fans, that you've got to get your team to solve. This is the one. You solve this, you get a goal scorer, the season's going to change. The question is, can that problem be solved? And can it be solved with who we currently got there? That's my first question to Tsepo. And let me just give you the numbers here. Ranga Chivariro, 31 years old, 20 games, 4 goals. Christian Sale, 30 games, 4 goals. Ashley du Preez, 23 games, 4 goals. Pulim Nodi, who's not really he's a striker, he's more wide, 26 games, 4 goals. 13 games, 1 goal. It looks like at Kaizer Chiefs, the limit, once you hit 4 goals, that's the ceiling.
It looks like 4.
4's
It
enough.
looks like 4 is the magic number. You get to 4, you're done.
Tell me, do you see Nabi turning any of these guys into a 15, 16, 17 goal a season player? Or do you see them getting goals spread amongst them?
I see them getting the goal spread amongst them if they have to push for a top 4, and we see them as a top 4 team. I don't see, looking at the guys there, I'm not really convinced that they can give Kaizer Chiefs 15 goals, 15 plus in a season. You know, Ashley, he gets there, he gets the chances, but he's not a finisher. I'm a bit worried about his finishing. You know, he's the only guy that is always there in the box, you know, but he's missing the chances. But if he can get his finishing right, I think 10 plus you can get from Ashley du Preez.
I'd agree with you there. If I look at Ranga, he had one very good season. He's a little bit older now, 2 years older since that season. He's got goals in him. Maybe Nabi's a guy to bring it out of him. But at 31, it's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. Sale, when he first joined, I thought he could be the answer. They're playing him wide. I don't see 10 plus goals in him. I agree with you, Ashley. If he can sort out his finishing, he's got incredible pace. It's very difficult for defenders, as you know. But we spoke last time, him better coming wide from the left and cutting in. And then Dube obviously is a youngster, and Nodi was another wide player. So, but there's one thing. Do you think maybe he would do something like this? And Chiefs fans, what do you think of this? Playing with a false 9, Sereno as a false 9. And then you're having your wingers coming in, cutting in and getting to the space behind there. Because then it's difficult. What do centre-backs do when they're playing against a false 9? Do they push in? What do you think? Do you think you'd go for something like that? Serena's got the brains to play that position, by the way.
That's a tough system to play, Peter. Sereno's got the brains, but the functions of the 2 wingers, they're very vital in this system. When do they go behind, and when they follow Sereno, they have to be ready to hit the space behind the defenders. Do you have those wingers? Ashley, to an extent, yes, you can say Ashley, but that's the only guy. You know, that's the only player that can have joy if they want to play a false 9. But I don't see them going for a false 9.
No. Okay. Let's have a quick short break, and we'll be back straight afterwards.
To all our believers,
to the goodness of Kopana,
to our drivers as Stockers Arabs,
to the believers at the Brazen Head,
on Soweto.
Tulanga.
Ukwamasho. And back.
We hear you.
Now hear us.
Siabonga.
Thank you.
Betway, the official global betting partner of Arsenal.
Welcome back, guys, with Tsepo Masilela, and we're talking Kaizer Chiefs strikers. The question is, who did Chiefs miss out on and why? And the reason why we're asking this question, it gives you an indication of the kind of striker they were looking for and the kind of formation they were going to play. And if you look at Mayo, in 50 games, 16 goals, just 1 in 3. But again, Tsepo, if you look at Mayo, he's more of a player who cuts in from the right on his left foot, kind of Sale kind of position. So maybe they were bringing him to replace Sale, not really to play 9, although he can play there, but I don't think he's that effective. Your thoughts on, would he have made a big difference?
Yeah, I like the Mayo boy. I think last season, towards the end of the season, he was the top striker at Cape Town City. I've seen him play that position also with when he went to the Bafana national team. He was playing as a top striker, as a 9. He can hold the ball, and I like him. I think he would have made a huge difference in the Kaizer Chiefs team.
Okay, so that gives us an indication. Mokwana, I know he's not really a striker, but they missed out on him as well. What do you think that he would have brought to the team? It gives us another idea of what the kind of system they would have played.
He's a tricky winger. One-on-one. He likes to go at defenders. That's what he brings to the game. He can eliminate defenders. He's a winger that you want to isolate him with the fullback, and you want him to have a go at the fullback and bring in those crosses.
And it does show you that Chiefs were looking for players who've got pace and can and eliminate players wide. Then Reyners, I mean, it's obvious. He scored 24 goals in 38 games. I mean, a machine. I mean, it's obviously he would have been perfect for Chiefs, but obviously at Sundowns, we don't have to discuss. Actually, Cupido, do you think that? I mean, there were talks that they were looking at him. He's got 29 goals in 108 games. He's 23. At Stellenbosch, they know what they're doing when they sign players. Is he the next Reyners? Is it somebody that Chiefs maybe should have actually made a bigger effort to? I think he would have combined well with Du Preez, by the way.
Looking at the record, he get worried a bit because age is still on his side. He's 23. He's not a youngster, but he's still got, years in him. And you would hope that if you bring in a player like that, you'd give him a year maybe to settle, and then hopefully the other season he can hit the ground running. For me, Reyners was the big, was the shark. If you look at that whole list, he's the shark. They missed out on him.
Maybe they should have gone for him earlier than towards the end of the season. But anyway, who knows what happens behind the scene. These are players that Chiefs have been linked to. And I know the fans have got strong views on this. So guys out there, let us know what you think. Tsepo and I are going to go through them. Dino Ndlovu, he's 34, he's free and is available. And we're hearing that him and Chiefs are talking. I think Dino was an outstanding player abroad. Your thoughts on Dino?
I fully agree. Abroad, Peter, I think it was at SuperSport at some point in Celtics. He didn't really skip town. Yes, he didn't really.
Sundowns as well.
Sundowns as well. Locally, he didn't really set the scene alight, and he was not that player. That the striker that people would look at and have that fear. When he was still playing in South Africa, but when he moved to Israel, he was a different kind of a player. He was a beast. He played there. I remember he also played for Maccabi Haifa. When he moved again. Yeah, and he went to China at some point. He was scoring goals for fun. But again, the age factor, it's going to be tough.
What are you saying? You're saying the Chiefs sign him or not sign him? Pull out of the negotiations. Is that what you're saying?
If they have other options, I think they should look at those other options. But he's not a bad striker. If he's free, he's available. And with strikers, you gotta have 3-4 strikers. Not the same type of player.
I think if Chiefs do sign him, I don't think he'll be signed as a starter. I think he'll be signed as a squad player to help the youngsters come along and come in, if injuries and so on and so forth. But, a lot of the fans are saying on social media, it's not a retirement home. They don't want him, but he's obviously got the experience. Yela Naguse, 25 years old, 24 appearances and 5 goals for Golden Arrows. I know there's been discussions. Steve Compella rates him very highly. Should Chiefs sign him? They have been talking.
I haven't watched much of Nguse, but from what I heard, he's a top striker. He's got the physique. Also, he's a fighter. He can fight defenders. He chases everything. And if available, as I said, it's gonna be a long season with lots of games, and they need the numbers.
I'll give you my little feeling here. I think he'll end up at Orlando Pirates. Tristan Mayete, DRC striker. He's playing for the Egyptian club Pyramids. They rejected a 13 million offer. It's a lot of money for a 30-year-old. He's played with Nabi at Young Africans. He scored 50 goals in 54 games. He became second top scorer. For me, they must break the bank for him. What do you think?
Yeah, when you look at the CV and the numbers, and again the other advantage, he's worked with the coach before, so the coach knows him. He knows the coach. That would be a huge plus if they can get him. But yeah, if they can get this guy, I think maybe we're pushing them to top 3 now. Forget top 4, we push them to top 3.
I agree. He's got goals in him. He knows the coach. He's tough. A lot of money to pay for a 30-year-old though, but he's probably got 3-4 seasons in him. They won't get a return, but he'll bring them goals and it'll make the fans happy. And I think he should be first prize for Kaizer Chiefs. But why would Pyramids let him go other than at a big profit? And they pay big money for him. He's a good chef in the kitchen.
Yeah, he's a good chef. That would be a challenge again. Sometimes the chef that you want is the chef that's not available. So I would assume maybe Pyramids, they're not selling this.
So guys out there, first prize for Kaizer Chiefs. Tsepo and myself agree. Tristan Mayele. Kaizer, get the money out. Question: who else could Chiefs look at? Assuming Tristan is not available, the price puts him out of the range. Let's look at a first of a name that's probably not going to happen. Percy Tau. If Percy Tau, whether he's available or not, it's not a big question. Is a question in itself. Sundowns would obviously look at him. Rulani at Wyatt would obviously look at him. But is he a player who would make a difference at Chiefs? He's still got the legs in him. Would he do well in the PSL?
Yes, he's still got the legs. I believe in Percy Tau. I think he's still got the legs. But again, looking at the age and the relationship he's had with Coach Rulani, if I'm not mistaken, Coach Rulani used to coach him by the development of Sundowns. So they have a very close relationship. And I would assume if he doesn't extend or stays at Al Ahly, I think, he might go to join Coach Rulani or go to the Saudi.
I agree. I think it's a long shot. I don't think it'll happen. There's a player that I've heard rumors he may want to come back to South Africa, Bongo Shongwane, 24 years old, 9 goals in 25 games for Minnesota United. He's not exactly an out-and-out 9, but I like him. He's strong. Your thoughts?
And he's got an eye for goal. He scores goals. No, he's not a 9, but again, at Maritzburg United, I remember before he moved abroad, he used to play as a top striker in some of the games, and he would get the goals. Again, MLS, he's been there for years now, and he's scoring. His name is always there when they mention the top goal scorers in the league in the MLS. He's always mentioned, and yeah, he's been in good form lately also.
If Chiefs could get him, you think he'd be a hit?
Yes, definitely.
I agree. There's another player that I'll try and break the bank on because, a couple of years in the PSL, then you could still sell him overseas. A name I'm going to give you that is highly unlikely to happen, but on social media, a lot of fans have been saying to me that Chiefs should look at him. Tekele Lepase is 27. He's not getting a look in at Pirates. Do you think that deal, would he fit in? And secondly, is it somebody that you think would do well for Chiefs and the chance of that kind of deal happening?
I don't see the deal happening there. I read, so I think Super Sports, they're looking at him, and I don't think Chiefs they interested or they're in the race to get him. And again, he's the Orlando Pirates. He's a Pirates player. We haven't seen him feature this season. I'm not sure. I think he's injured, by the way, but I don't think they're gonna go for him.
I think also that he'll go to back to SuperSport. Then I can tell you right now, and maybe you guys hear it first on SoccerBeat. I know. I'm from Cape Town. I know that Fakhri Lakay is on the list. I know the coach likes him as well. What do you think? He's got 17 goals in 58 games. He's only 27. He's been around a long time. He knows the PSL. He's got pace. He can play wide, left, right, and down the middle. He can play as a 10. I don't think he's ever really got to the standard that he can go. And I think having played in Egypt for a couple of seasons and done well, I think he'd come back here a much improved player. I think he'd be a super signing for Chiefs. And I know they're talking. I don't know if I've heard anything, but or if they're not talking, he's on the list. And I know you wouldn't mind coming home. What would he be? Would he do a good job for Chiefs?
Yeah, he's a versatile attacker, as you said. He can play out wide. He can play as a 10. He can play as a 9. You know, in a long season, you need such attacking player that's versatile. Yeah, I read also they were trying to do a swap deal, his team and some other team in Egypt, but I think he refused. There's a huge possibility that he might be in the market. I think Chiefs should have a look at him.
But let's just look at the facts, fans out there. We know, as Tsepo just said, there was a possibility of a swap deal with him in Egypt, and he refused. So the club would let him go. Kaizer Chiefs, you've got a big chance to sign Lakay. Would you sign him, Tsepo?
Yes, on the spot.
So would I. And I think, again, he'd also do well with Du Preez. They can interchange and so on. He's quick. He's got a brain. He could be. I put him second to Mayele. The next player I want to mention to you that I think has never had a fair shout in South Africa. He is available. Tsepo Masilela. He's 28. He's a free agent. He's had injury problems. Play for Bafana. Wealth of experience overseas. He's quick. He can hold the ball up. He's strong. He can hit the ball. I know South Africans don't really know him, but he's only 28. But I haven't heard anything about Chiefs looking at him, by the way. But he's a player who is available. What do you think of him, first of all, as a player?
It's a pity because we don't get to watch much of his games. As you said, he's been away for long and he's got the experience. He's played the French league, and I think at some point he was coached by Patrick Vieira, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. You know, but I've seen him play for the national team under Coach Stewart, and he's a strong boy. He's got the physique, he's got the height, and strange enough, he's also got the pace. You know, he attacks the ball very well. He likes to go first pole and, you know, attack the ball. And let's say we'll put him third in the group after Mayela and Lakay. But if he's there,
I would agree with that. But I don't think they're looking to sign him personally. But I would have another think if I.
And again, you know, some my guys from Israel, they were asking me about him. Maccabi Haifa, I think they having a look at him. They just sold their striker to Greece. I think he's joined the team in Greece. I don't remember what's the name of the team, Maccabi Haifa. So they're looking for a number 9.
Okay, well, maybe Chiefs. I'm not going to miss out because he's going to be gone. Guys, let's summarize. Chiefs, the only thing lacking in that squad right now is another striker. The goals are not going to really come from anybody in particular of the current strikers. Tsepo believes at best they'll be spread around between Du Preez and so on and so forth. But they are in the market for strikers. The guys that they've missed out on, good players, gave us indication what they're looking for. Dino and Love, there's a good chance of that happening, but the fans are not that keen. And Guse, I know they've spoken, but I don't think that's going to happen. Don't be surprised if he ends up at Pirates next season. The guy that we believe they should be going for, number 1 on the list, is Fiston Mayete, but that's going to cost a lot of money. What's the chance of that happening? Probably under 50%. Masilela is something we recommend, but that's not going to happen. The deal that could very well happen, Lakay for Kaizer Chiefs, we're not saying it is going to happen, but that would be would that be, by the way, the final piece in the jigsaw for you, Tsepo, at Kaizer Chiefs?
Yes, that would be the final piece. If you look at how they've done business, I think the coach was more focused on the spine of the team. You know, he went and signed the keeper from Galaxy, got the center back from Angola, if I'm not mistaken. Now they have Blom, and then they have Serino. So I think that's the final missing piece of the puzzle. You know, the spine needs to be strong.
Good, I agree. And I think it's a good way to end is on what young African boss Hersey Ali said. He said, Nabi will do well if he gets support in recruitment of players. And right now, Chiefs fans, your club's giving him the support. It's just a striker, and they are looking. So he is definitely getting the support. And what's interesting, what Nabi said, he said that the Chiefs have been poor in recruitment, and it's led to problems in the squad, and they've got to be very careful who they recruit. So I think he's giving himself legroom there to get a player as well. But Nabi needs a striker to deliver. Tsepo and I have gone through the list. We think he's going to get you Lakay. It's the one problem Nabi needs to solve. and I think he's going to do it. Tsepo, appreciate it. Love you guys. See you again soon.